All right. Now, the one thing I don't like, I was looking for the PDF. That's what took me a little minute there. I was looking for the PDF on building permits. Before you can build, you must have to have you must have a permit. You must put in a permit in order to build. So when I'm looking at building permits, you can go onto the uscensus.gov and go to building permit surveys. And when you look at the building permit surveys, this can give you an economical indicator. Let's go right here. Yeah, this one came out today. Yeah, you know, actually, boom, I think I may have found it. All right, cool. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is an indicator of what's going on. Here we go, right here. You want to follow along with this, ladies and gentlemen? I'm looking at today that was released at 8:30, Tuesday, July 30th. This is the monthly new resident constructions for June of 2021, because in order for people to buy houses, they have to be being built. They have to put in building permits, or people putting in building permits. When building permits slow down, that means that people are planning on building less, and people are building less. That means there's going to slow down. It could be two things. One, by them building less houses, it can decrease the supply of houses and shoot up the value of existing houses. Two, people may not be building houses because they know that people can't afford or buying houses. Maybe they're not getting that many orders. So it's a couple of ways to interpret this, but we're going to take a look here. This is on the census.gov. You're going to go to the census.gov/construction/NRC. And right here, NRC is the new residential construction report. So the United States Census Bureau and the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development jointly announced the following new residential construction statistics for June 2021. Building permits. Privately owned housing units authorized by building permits in June were at a seasonal adjusted annual rate of 1.5 million. This is a 5.1% below the revisited May rate of 1.6 million, but a 23% above the June 2020. So they're saying that, hey, from May to June, it was a slowdown, but from this time last year, it's up. From May to June, it's down 5%, but this time last year is up. You know, last year it was in a pandemic. Single family authorizations in June were at a rate of 1 million, right? Might as well say 1 million. This is 6.3% below the revisited May figures of 1.1 million. Authorizations of units in building with 5 units or more were at a rate of 483 million in June. So now building permits have slowly decreased from May to June. Why is that happening? I'm keeping a close eye what's happening to see. That's the first thing. So now you got to have a permit. So first you got to have a building permit, right? So the building permit is what tells you, give you the permission. Hey, I want to build a house over here. I need a permit from the city, state, or whatever to build a house. They says, yes, you can build that house. Now you have to start building that house. The next report is housing starts. Privately owned housing starts in June were at a seasonal adjusted annual rate of 1.6 million. This is 6.3. This is a 6.3% above the revisited May estimate of 1.5 million and a 29% above the June of last year. Okay, so housing starts are a little bit up. Starting to build the house is a little bit up from last year, and it's up from May. Single family housing started in June were at a rate of 1.1 million, 63% above the revisited May figure of 1 million. The June rate for units in building with the 5 units or more was at 474 million. So building permits have slowly decreased in May, but housing starts have gone up. So when I see housing starts, these are people who already got their permit and they're starting. Housing, now you got the permit to say, hey, I want to build a house here. Housing starts means you start building a house. And the third level is, hey, I'm completing the house, because you want to keep, if people are starting houses and not completing them, maybe they ran out of money, they ran out of budgeting, they didn't get enough supplies or whatever. So let's take a look at the housing completions. Privately owned housing completions in June were at a seasonal adjusted annual rate of 1.3 million. This is a 1.4% below the revisited May but 6.5% above June of last year, which was at 1.2 million. Single family homes completions in June were at a rate of 900,000. This is 61% below the revisited rate in June. The June for the unit being built to 5 units or more is 4.16. So right here, building permits have slowly declined as house prices continue to go up. We're seeing building permits, which is a leading indicator, is starting to decline. Housing starts are up, but housing completions are starting to slow down as well. Now, I believe that once you start a house and you don't complete it, guess what? I've seen plenty of people talk about, hey, the price of lumber is going up. People can't afford the lumber. People's supply chains, they can't get supplies. So that's what may be slowing down the housing completion. But this is something that I'm keeping in mind when I'm looking at building permits, because this trend of this hot real estate market, it could be as they build less houses, the current existing housing prices will go up. And it could be they're not building houses because they don't have buyers of these homes as well. But if you couple this with the information from the NBA, the Mortgage and Bankers Association, that says that housing applications are down, then you can kind of build a picture. Do I think we're going to see a collapse in real estate? I always tell people I don't think so. Not this year or the next 5 or 10 years. I think we will see a cool off. Now, commercial real estate, on the other hand, different story. But all right, let me see what y'all saying in the comments. All right. Yeah, this is my my take on the housing market. This is my take on, looking at the Mortgage and Bankers Association, everything like that, and going into how we're looking at for housing and all the other good stuff like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this is kind of a segue, but I believe that right now we're in a hot market where people are not paying attention to travel stocks. I think right now this is not financial investing. I do own travel stocks and things like that. But when you're looking at the airports being flooded and full, and you watching American Airlines, all this travel that's about to go on, you're seeing these airline stocks and travel stocks starting to decline. I think that's a very big buying opportunity right there. But anyway, shouts out to the travel industry and also Chipotle. Definitely like what I'm seeing over there. And also, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep an eye on that real estate market. If we're starting to see a cool off. We just read the building permits. We also made housing starts and housing completions. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Investor Show. My name is Prince Dykes. I'm going to go ahead and watch the NBA Finals, see if it's going to be a closeout game. I don't think it is. I think the Suns got it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, ladies, to the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy you see me doing around the globe. As always, my name is Prince Dykes. This is the Investor Show. Peace. Be safe. I'm out. And thank you.